The manufacturing sector is of paramount importance to our economy. This sector has a multiplier effect on creation of jobs. Last year, an incentive in form of investment allowance to manufacturing companies which invest more than 100 crores in plant and machinery during the year 1st April 2013 to 31st March 2015 was announced. Considering the need to incentivize smaller entrepreneurs, I propose to provide an investment allowance at the rate of 15% to a manufacturing company which invests more than 25 crores in any year in plant and machinery. This benefit will be available for 3 years, that is investment up to 31/3/2017. The scheme announced last year will continue to operate in parallel till 31/3/2015. I also propose to extend the investment-linked deduction to 2 sectors, namely slurry pipes for transportation of iron ore and semiconductor wafer fabrication manufacturing units. This will boost investment in these 2 sectors. Supply of power continues to be a major area of concern for the country. Therefore, instead of the annual extensions, I propose to extend the 10-year tax holiday to undertakings which begin generation, distribution and transmission of power by 31/3/2017. The stability of our policy will help investors to plan their investments better. Foreign portfolio investors who have invested more than 8 lakh crores, that is about $130 billion in India, one of their concern is uncertainty of taxation on account of characterization of their income. Moreover, the fund managers of these foreign investors remain outside India under the apprehension of their presence in India may have adverse tax consequences. With a view to put an end to this uncertainty and to encourage these fund managers to shift to India, I propose to provide that income arising out of portfolio investors with transactions in securities will be treated as capital gains. The concessional rate of tax of 15% on dividend received by Indian companies from foreign subsidies has resulted in enhanced repatriation of funds from abroad. I propose to continue the concessional rate of 15% foreign dividends without any sunset date. This will ensure stability of taxation policy. In order to augment long-term foreign borrowings for Indian companies, I propose to extend the eligible dates of borrowings in foreign currency from 31/6/2016 to 30th June 2017. From 30th June 16 to 17 for a concessional rate of 5% on interest payments. I also propose to extend this tax incentive to all types of bonds instead of only infrastructure bonds. I hope this measure will enable the companies to step up their investments in India. In order to reduce litigation on transfer pricing issues, I propose to make certain changes in transfer pricing regulations. An advanced pricing agreement scheme was introduced in the year 2012. It has received a good response. I propose to strengthen the tax administration set up by the APA to expedite the disposal of applications. Further, I propose to introduce a rollback provision of the APA scheme so that the APA entered into for a future transaction may also be applied to international transactions undertaken in the previous 4 years to specified circumstances. In order to align transfer pricing regulations in India with the best available practices, I propose to introduce range concept for determination of arm's length price. However, the arithmetic mean concept will continue to apply where the number comparable is inadequate. The relevant data under analysis and appropriate rules will be prescribed. As per the existing provisions of the transfer pricing regulations, only 1 year data is allowed to be used for comparable analysis with some exception. I propose to amend this regulation to allow use of multiple year data. Necessary legislative amendments to give effect to the above proposals including those relating to Authority for Advance Ruling, Income Tax Settlement Commission, will be moved in the current session of Parliament. In the case of mutual funds, other equities-oriented funds, the capital gains arising out of transfer of units held for more than a year is taxed at a concessional rate of 10%, whereas direct investments in banks and other debt instruments attract a higher rate of tax. This allows tax arbitrage opportunities. This arbitrage has hardly benefited retail investors as their percentage is very small amongst the mutual fund investors. With a view to remove this tax arbitrage, I propose to increase the rate of tax for long-term capital gains from 10% to 20% on transfer of units of such funds. I propose to increase the period of holding in respect of such units from 12 months to 36 months for this purpose. In the year 2003, a tax liability on income by way of dividend was shifted from the shareholder to the company. The shareholder was required to pay tax on gross dividends, but now the company pays tax on dividend amount net of taxes. Similarly, in the case of mutual fund, income distribution tax is paid on the income distributed net of taxes. I propose to remove this anomaly both in the case of the company and the mutual fund. Currently, where the assessee fails to deposit, deduct and pay tax on specified payments to residents, 100% of such payments are not allowed as deduction while computing these income. This has caused undue hardship to taxpayers, particularly where the rate of tax is only 1 to 10%. I propose to provide that instead of 100%, only 30% of such payments will be disallowed. The Direct Tax Code 2010 has lapsed with the dissolution of the 15th Lok Sabha. Having considered the report of the Standing Committee and the views expressed by the stakeholders, my predecessor had placed a revised code in public domain in 2014. The government shall consider all comments received from stakeholders on the revised code. The government will also review the DTC in its present take and take a view in the whole matter. Income Tax Department is expected to function not only as an enforcement agency but also as a facilitator. A number of Aikar Seva Kendras have been opened in different parts of the country. I propose to extend this facility by opening 60 more such Seva Kendras along with the current financial year to promote excellence in service delivery. The focus of any tax administration is to broaden the tax base. Our policy thrust is to adopt a non-intrusive method to achieve this object.